Hello, today we are talking about, do video people and live streamers ever have to write a word of copy? Yes, we do. And even though you're not very good at copywriting, or maybe you don't particularly like doing it, that's the same as me and how I started out. I'm going to show you a little quick hack to help you get started and get more views to your video. Let's get going. Hello, I am Charlene Tessier, the founder of Strength in Numbers, and I'm helping you to use strategic live streaming to find your ideal clients online and to fill your courses, programs, workshops. Now, when I first started out with video, the reason I really moved towards that was because I felt that I was a terrible writer, a terrible copywriter. I actually originally started with long form blog posts, like I think many people do. And it was kind of what the gurus were all saying that I had to do. But I really hated doing it. I didn't enjoy writing and I didn't enjoy copywriting. And I especially hated writing blog posts. So I thought video would be really good for me because it kind of matched my personality, and I thought it would allow me to get away from copywriting because I plan to live stream it like I do now, and I don't script it. I do have some points, but I don't script it. And so I thought that would allow me to just like free up my time and not have to stress about copywriting. Well, as it goes, what kind of goes around comes around. As my live streams and videos have been getting more traction and a lot of people have been engaging with me, I'm realizing if I want to get more views and more people to stop scrolling or to even find me on YouTube, I have to get better, at least at the copywriting, at least for the hook and the title. That's the really most important. If you don't want to spend tons of time writing, and you'll notice my little description for these live streams are only 3 or 4 lines, right? And you can practice very short copywriting like that. Is going to hook them in, and it's going to get them to at least stop and look at your video and consume it. But the title is the most important part, and the hook, right? You only have about 3 seconds to hook them, and you got to get them to stop and then be able to start watching your stuff. If you don't even stop, then you've got no real hope. And today I'm actually going to show you a book that I've been using and a little process and that I do to essentially build up my hooks really fast. Let me see if I can get my screen. There we go. So I've been reading a book called Cashvertising. You can't really see that. There you go. Cashvertising. And it has a lot of information. There's like 100 secrets to, the psychology of people I buy. And it's an overwhelming book. There's so much information and it's really amazing, but it is not what you think it is, right? There isn't actually any templates. They don't give you sort of like, oh, if you do this, plug in this, you get it that. You don't get that. You don't really get any formulas either for copywriting. You don't really get quick tips. You get a lot of tips, and I guess some could be implemented quickly, but I'm finding most require a bit of time and kind of practice at it. And I don't find that there's like easy hacks, but it does give you tons of great information. What it does give you, though, which I find so invaluable, is that it helps you understand why people do what they do and why they buy what they buy or don't do what they do. And that really, for me, was a really kind of eye opener into the kind of the mechanical thinking of how people work. And it also help you understand your customers' buying process decision or decision making, why they choose to do the things they do and they don't. And it also shows you why people buy, right? So the decision-making process, what they do, why they do what they do, and why they buy. And just to give you a little quick heads up, if you do decide to read the book, and I am still reading the book, is that it, like I said, it has 100 tips. And by chapter 4, my head was like, that was totally exploding. It was like just too much information. So I actually decided to just go through chapter by chapter and share with you actually some of my processes that I'm developing as I go through chapter by chapter. I thought it would be a great way to give you guys some tips. And this time I'm doing actually chapter 1, and not even all of chapter 1 because there's so much amazing stuff packed in there, but we're going to just do the high level. Now, it talks about something called the Life Force 8. It is also known as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You've probably heard of many of these, and I'll just go through them really quick. Survival, enjoyment of life, life extension, enjoyment of food and beverages, freedom from fear, pain, and danger, sexual companionship, comfortable living conditions, to be superior, winning, keeping up with the Joneses, care and protection of loved ones, and social approval. So why do I care about these 8? Well, in the first chapter, the reason we really care about these 8 is if we can, in our hook, instill one of these very innate drives, life force, as he calls them, into the hook, implying that it will make the person stop and want to find out more about it, right? It is this innate driving factor that we all have. And then there are also secondary wants. But I want to just talk about the first 8, because if you can really get these 8 worked into that hook, then you will actually start to see a lot of changes. And I'm going to show you today how I do it step by step and how you can actually do it as well. Let me just quickly pass through some of the, I did this in a slightly longer presentation, and so you would be able to watch that as well. So what I do is I essentially write out 10 hooks. So if for this particular live stream or video or blog post, the very first sentence, which is the hook, is what I essentially go hard on. Don't worry about the Life Force 8 right now. Just try to write 10 and write them as quickly as possible. I even put on a timer. I put on a timer for 3 minutes because otherwise I'll sit there for ages, right? And we really just want to brainstorm and dump out as much as you think would be a good title for your, not title, but a hook to hook people in to your post or content, right? So you're wondering about the bulk of the content. I didn't talk about that. I'm assuming you've already written that. I forgot to mention, I always write the hooks at the end. So I always actually write the body of the content first, the bullet points, what I want to talk about, what's even the call to action at the end, because I want to spend only 20% of my time on that. So in an hour's block, when I'm creating, say, this live stream and deciding what I'm going to be talking about, I will probably spend, let me see, 15, 20 minutes, to be honest, about the content, the bullet points and the call to action, and the other 40, 45 minutes actually on the hook, because the hook is so important. And if, honestly, like I said, if you hate copywriting, and I'm not really a copywriting lover, and I'm kind of getting into it more because of it's getting quite interesting, but it's also overwhelming to try to apply every single one of those tips, every single one of those strategies. You're just going to stall out. So right now, just focus on the hook. If you have really good hooks, you're going to have a good start, and it's kind of the best bang for your buck. That's why I'm focusing on that. So we're going to write 10 as quickly as possible. Put a timer, 3 minutes. It really does make a difference. And you're going to make them all one-liners, one sentence, as much as you can. Try not to have hooks that are 3-4 sentences long. That's not a hook. So you want to make them one-liners. Then you're going to choose the 1 or 2 from your brainstorm that you think will work with one of the Life Force 8s that we spoke about. So how can we work in companionship or desire for survival into one of those hooks? So you're going to pick one of the hooks, and only pick one of the Life Force 8s for now, and rework that hook a few more times. Try to write out essentially another 5 or so in a 3-minute period. Okay, so you won't have as many because it's not a brainstorm. It's now a kind of a improvement on that. Another thing you can do is, if you find that after you do that for 3 minutes and you think 2 Life Force 8s could actually work, don't mix them together. It gets very hard. You can do that, but as a sort of beginner and you want to get it out fast, do one hook, one life force 8 and rework it for 3 minutes, then maybe use the same hook but a different life force 8 and rework that for 3 minutes. And if you want to change them, don't change both, right? Change then maybe the other hook with starting 8 life force 8 1, and then like that's already generating probably close to 15 hooks, which is more than you'll need. And so you'll be able to get one of those out of that, and then you can share that. So what I like to do, which was really fun, I did this with a friend of mine, and I would have loved to do it in a group, and I'm hoping to do this in my community very soon, is we come with kind of our posts already kind of created. We know what we want to talk about, and it's very interesting to do this together, because if someone else gives me their hook and then I apply which life force 8, I will come up with all kinds of different ideas than they may come up with. And it also comes from a different perspective, a perspective of I don't really know what the content is and it doesn't matter. And I might not even know much about that person. And so I'm really coming at it at the innate kind of way that's going to really have some impact. And so I find that to be really fun. I did that with another person, and it was super interesting to see the types of hooks. In honestly, we did it 3-3-3, so that was like 9 minutes, 15 minutes, amazing hooks that we were able to get out of. So if you don't like copywriting, you don't have to do tons of it, but really think about the hooks. And if you can, think about those life force 8s and work them together. If you want to get more details to how that works, check out that book. Cashvertising is very cheap on Amazon as a e-reader. It is not a, break the bank kind of book. And I would love, have it on your desk. I have it on my desk and I'm working through it, applying those skills. And I think it's going to take me all year, but you know what? I'm happy with that. It's not like I have to have that all right now. And it's a process, I would say. Now, as some of you know, I happen to have my panel of experts coming at the end of this month. Oh my gosh, the end of this month is coming up really fast. It's like less than a week away. It's actually going to be next Wednesday. You're going to get live access to 8 experts who have done multiple successful launches, are online marketing experts, and myself, I will also be there. And you'll be able to bring your questions about how to get more people to show up for your masterclasses, training, courses, virtual events, and get your questions answered for that. So I do hope you'll be able to come. It is free. And if you can't show up live, let us know. When you sign up, there's a box you can put in your question and we'll ask your question and you'll get the recordings after. So sign up. I will put that down below. I hope to see you there and have a wonderful day, everyone.